Okay, so here are three big stories in about 3 minutes. So the first article is in The Guardian, and that was that North Korea has clearly, it appears, according to the South Korean intelligence, provided more than 1 million shells. Artillery shells to Russia since August to help boost their war fighting. Now, that's only about 2 months worth of actual artillery at the rate that Russian uses it. But if you compare that, Europe has promised 1 million shells and delivered 300,000. So if you're the Ukrainians, you're kind of going, come on, guys, like, we need help. Okay, second article, and this was really interesting as well. Most Russians are against ending Ukraine war if captured land is returned, according to a poll. Now, this is a poll by the Levada Center, and I think that the Levada Center's polls are going to be fairly accurate. And so here's what we saw. A majority of Russians would not support ending the Ukraine war if it meant giving up occupied territories. According to a recent survey, only 34% of Russians would support Vladimir Putin if he stopped the invasion and returned Ukrainian territories. So that tells you where the Russians are. Okay, third and final thing, Blinken and Austin urged Congress to pass funding to support both Israel and Ukraine. And there was an interesting line here. Blinken told a Senate panel on Tuesday, if we start to peel off pieces of this package, they'll see that. They'll understand that we are playing whack-a-mole while they cooperate increasingly. The request includes $61 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel, as well as funding for both border security, humanitarian aid, and Indo-Pacific initiatives. Okay, so this is on the other side of Mike Johnson coming out and saying that he wanted to do Israel separately, and of course Biden didn't want to do that. But then you have Senator McConnell. Senator McConnell is the leader in the minority leader, that's the Republican minority leader in the Senate. And so the Senate is pretty solid. Biden is, of course, all behind Ukraine. The Senate is pretty solid. What's going to happen is this. This is my prediction. The House of Representatives will bring this independent bill. The Senate will bring the full package. They'll get together and they'll have to work something out. Because Johnson and the Republicans in the House don't actually want to come up empty-handed with not giving anything to Israel, and because of that, they're going to have to work out some kind of compromise. They're not going to just do that. So they'll work this out. But here, McConnell goes all in on this fight. Mitch McConnell is abandoning his typically cautious style when it comes to aiding Ukraine, shrugging off potshots at his leadership, and expending political capital for the embattled country despite a painful rift in the party. Now, this is his last term. On Monday, McConnell will appear alongside a Ukrainian ambassador to publicly commit the United States to Kyiv's defenses. It's too early to count out McConnell, who some suspect could be his last term leading the Senate, GOP. He's retiring. He's old. He's going to spend his political capital supporting Ukraine. That'll be his legacy, and that's what's going to happen. Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the coffees, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.